So with the arrival of Sim Update 4 brings a new, I was going to say aircraft, but a new vehicle for us to take a look at. I've actually been pleasantly surprised with Sim Update 4, but we're not here to talk about that today. We're here to talk about the new vehicle, the new rotorcraft that we have for free in Sim Update 4. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. And welcome to the Bell UH-1, it's not the Y, UH-1H, I think, Iroquois, or as we all know it, the Huey. This aircraft is completely and totally free. If you have Sim Update 4 installed, you have access to this right now. So we are going to see if it's worth your time to fly or if you should stick with the other modules you have paid or paid free or otherwise acquired. I say that because there was someone in comments of one of my recent videos who was like, I stole this. And I'm like, hey, don't report your crimes. But anyway, we're going to give it the standard sample treatment, looking first and foremost at the textures on the Huey, listen to some of the sounds of this aircraft, and then obviously get it up for a flight and see how she performs. So without further ado, let's begin. So textures, let's do it this way. Textures, oh, wrong button, wrong. Could you? Hey, could you? Would you? There we go, that's what I need. It's almost like I should have just waited and started in this camera. Anyway, textures in the Bell UH-1. At first glance, they're pretty dang good. I love the crazing in the windows here. We've got crazing in the lower and a little bit in the upper too. This is great. I love that. Nice detail on both the rivets and those Phillips head screws holding that lower window in place. Obviously you can see my anti-torque pedals there in place. I'm curious, this is the, oh no, this is the correct side for that nav light. There are two variants of the Huey available. There's a cargo variant, which is what we have today, hence the sling loading hook underneath, as well as a rescue variant. We won't be looking at that today, but outside of a sling load hook and or a rescue hoist, they are the same rotorcraft from what I can tell. That landing light's looking a little bit blah. What about the searchlight? Equally blah. And then we've got a center strobe looking okay. But no, I'm pleased with this. Per usual, when I see something that is very well done and very well nicely designed, like this Huey appears to be, even that little it's not a locking, but a little ring there on the door hinge, I suspect this was made by someone else and a Sobo bought them out. There's our first error there. Make that a black void, or make it deeper, one of the two. But we'd be nitpicking if we did big negative marks for that. Ooh. Can you guys see that on the recording? You can't really. No, my recording settings are smoothing it out. There's a weird ripple glitch on this rubber effect on my screen, but you guys are not seeing it because this is being downscaled to 60 frames per second for you. It's a little bit different for me on this 144 Hertz monitor. Nice big open back single engine, this being a non-UH-1Y Venom, the newer version of the Huey based on, I believe it's the Bell, is the 414. Essentially they took the Huey airframe, got rid of this center engine, put an engine on either side, and gave it real big heat dissipators, and then painted it primer gray, or Nardo gray if you like German cars, and called it the UH-1Y Venom, I believe, because there's the AH-1Z Viper, not to be confused with the F-16C Viper, which is the Cobra, the updated Cobra. Both the Cobra and the Huey served in both Vietnam and continue to serve in their new variants, the UH-1Y and AH-1Z today. But we're going for the classic, the big twin blade that every helicopter you hear nowadays makes in movies. That is more than likely this rotorcraft. I'm digging what I'm seeing, especially for free. Lots of good detail, nothing blow your socks off, but this is more than acceptable in my opinion. Let's head inside. Wow, they even modeled those vents are actually see-through. I love that. See, more of that, more devs do that shit. That looks great. Let's pop inside here. And it would help if I wasn't facing directly into the sun, but we'll take a quick look around the cockpit as well. Obviously, this being an older rotorcraft, we have no digital displays. It's all steam gauges. I'm unfortunately able to report that the altimeter heading bug does still not work. So if you set the altimeter, it just scrolls to the lowest setting. Don't know why Flight Sim hasn't fixed that in Sim Update 4, but that's okay. We're not here to talk about that. Can I have my mouse back? Can you? Hey, mouse. Okay, fuck it. I'll just use this instead. But nice reflections on the annunciator panel there. You can see the reflections of the windows. You can see the reflections in the gauges as well. All looking very nice. A little bit more detail on those anti-torque pedals, as well as the wiring running down by my feet. Continuing in the realm of simplicity, the UH-1's a relatively easy rotorcraft to start. If you play DCS World, this is probably one of the earlier modules you had if you were into helicopters, and it's not much more difficult in flight sims. The first thing we're going to do is go to our battery, turn that on. The second thing we're going to do is turn this off. My God, so that's the low rotor RPM warning. I forgot about that. You can do that preemptively too if you don't want to hear that warning. But that corresponds with this light letting you know, hey, your main rotor and or tail rotor RPM is not in this green arc here. Fix that. So, turn that off temporarily. The aircraft begins with the starter in the generator position. You want to make sure that you're there for startup. We're going to come over here to the, in fact, let's go throw some panel lighting on. There we go. And I need inverter, and we'll go anti-collision light, and we'll go steady on the position lights. I guess while we're here really quick, we'll show you the external lighting package in the Huey. It's nothing crazy to write home about. You can extend that front landing light as well. So it's nothing crazy, but I'd call it adequate. I will say I do like the rotating beacon effect here. That's often something not done well in aircraft that have a real rotating beacon like the UH-1 does, but this is done well. Next is going to be fuel and starting the aircraft. So we have a main fuel shutoff. We'll turn that on. We will set our engine to the cutoff detent, like so. And we'll make sure that stop release is in for the start. Now, this is how you would do it on the real rotorcraft. I'm not going to be able to do the proper startup just because of how Flight Sim's set up. So in DCS, when you're starting the Huey, you've got it bound to a button, and I could do that in Flight Sim, but we're going to do it on default controls. So what I need to do is simultaneously hold this start lever here Wait for RPMs to come up, and then introduce fuel. Wait for this little start detent stop lever to click out like that. But I'm not going to do that. We're going to hot start the engine today because I don't have the means of doing both binds. So we will zoom out just a little bit because I do want to keep an eye on EGT. There's the igniter going. Engine starting to spool. RPM's coming up through 25% now. There's our EGT. We're watching for just below 800 Celsius for a hot start. Start is disengaged. And it looks good start up there. Engine EGT's all the way back to 0? That doesn't quite make sense. I don't know why we'd have 0%. No matter we're 0 degrees. Let's bring the engine RPM up. Start 100% engine, and then we need the rudders. There's the tail rudder, and here comes the main. Both into the green. With that complete, we'll switch our generator over to standby so we're not making power. And we'll get a sound profile outside. I'm going to roll the engine back down to the idle detent. We'll get that warning again because we're slowing the engine down, and we'll get a sound profile outside with the engine at low idle. Lovely sound. Let's now increase engine RPM. You would do this slowly normally, but we're going to do it quickly here. And listen outside. And that's that classic Huey that everyone is used to hearing in so many movies. Really love the new heat blur animation in some update 4. I don't think it's exclusive to the Huey, but it looks very good here. Very true to life. So that is our startup done. Let's go ahead and clear that master caution. We'll hit a reset. That'll extinguish that light. If you're flying at night, you can cover up all of your annunciator panels, but we don't need that today. Radio altimeter set to 200 feet. I think we're set to pick up here. So I'm going to go a little bit of aft cyclic. And we'll start adding collective. Well, definitely not the most graceful pickup. I don't pretend to be a good helicopter pilot. I can just barely get my way through here, so. As far as handling in the Huey goes, it's a relatively docile ruddercraft and forgiving when you're not on the ragged edge. When you do start to push limits, it does get a little bit temperamental, but I think that's expected with a aircraft of this age, this generation, from this generation. I don't know what you want to call it. Big rotor chop there as we're pushing the collective hard to get a bunch of airspeed under our rudders. Cairo, definitely not the best example of a smooth frame airport. Lost a couple frames there, but that's no worry. On the right hands, this could definitely be a good agile aircraft, and not to mention it opens up a whole nother world for lights. Now, it is worth mentioning this comes with the Stranger Things DLC as well. Some update 4 does, and that's what the Huey's featured for. We can maybe look at that in a later episode, but I'm much more interested in the aircraft than the DLC off of a television show. One that I haven't watched. Not to knock Stranger Things, but I just don't think it's for me. Just holding a sort of hover here. It's not, oh, it's the ground. Rotorcraft's a little bit unpredictable in ground effect, I'll admit. Hovering at low altitude's a bit of a challenge, but it's certainly not impossible if you are smoother on the stick than I am. Let's go for a maximum acceleration down the runway, and then we will do my famous vertical U-turn. You know, the one we made up a few videos ago. Probably got a real life name, because like BO-105s have been doing it for decades. Just not as extreme as me. Coming in through 90 knots now, 95, 100. Tapped out on the collective. We're all the way up on the collective now. In through 110. Really putting in some anti-torque here. There's 120. Let's go vertical. Oh boy. Almost bottomed it out there. So definitely not the same recovery profile as the UH-60 or CH-47, which would make sense. Those are both twin turbine, big output turbine engines. We've got a single little turbine. Not little, but a single turbine. Do an aggressive stop here as we get to the end of the runway. And here we go off collective. Big vertical speed climb there. Yeah, certainly not the best. It has to do more with my pilotage than the rotorcraft itself. Let's give this one more try. Turned around here in the 05 center. And collective on. Tap down on collective. I think 80 knots is good enough. That's a tail strike. Need more altitude. Anyway. I'll cut it. Cut it here. This is the UH-1 available for free in some update 4. Check it out if you're interested in rotorcraft. I certainly will be doing some more flying off channel with it. Or on if you would like me to. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching this one. I do dearly appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one. But until then, as always, take it easy.